This is Steve Simpson, and I'm in the studio with several members of the St.Albans and District Model Engineering Society. I'm joined by Malcolm and by Tony and by Roy, and they're here to tell us that on the 28th and 29th of September there is a model show taking place in St. Albans, which I think we all need to know a little bit more about it. And Roy, you're going to tell us what's going on. So this is your big show of the year, is that right?
That's right. Yes.
And it's a super show which brings together model engineering clubs and societies from the general area into this one exhibition.
Right. I think the only thing that limits it is the size of the school. We fill a school, so it's lots to see. We have local model clubs, engineering clubs come along and they show what they've been doing over the year. We have operating stuff for young people to do. So generally speaking, it's a general gathering, a jamboree of come and see a model. And if you can't find something there, I'll be very surprised.
Tell us what kind of models people can expect to see at the show.
A lot of the members, they make very precise models, and they take time, as you can imagine. Also, the various clubs we invite, there's about 5 or 6 clubs come along, and they themselves bring very nice models, but we also encourage having, shall we say, ordinary models, and we also will have models that are under construction, so that you can actually see how things are put together. And you can make model aeroplanes. We have a guy that comes up, and the area he has is full of children the whole time, and they can make an aircraft and go outside and fly it, which is nice and easy for them.
So is that made from a kit, or is that made from... I remember balsa wood models.
Yes, there's the chap who comes along, Steve. He brings along pre-prepared things from polystyrene and paper and card and balsa wood, and they get instruction on how to make things, and it's like a little classroom of about 8 or 9 at a time, and they, as soon as they're finished, they're dashing outside to fly them.
Okay.
And when they get outside, they find that there's some model boats which they can operate, radio-controlled boats on a small pool we've got. And
I knew it wouldn't be long before we talked about boats, because you're the boatman, aren't you, Roy? That's your passion.
That's really it. My first model, not exactly model boats, I used to watch my father chopping up firewood, and that's over 70 years ago now, and I used to look for the straight grain bits, and then I grabbed them and cut them up and turn them into little boats when it rained next, you know. So I've always been interested in boats. Yeah.
So there will be boats to look at and sail.
Yeah,
as well.
There's boats to operate. I mean, under instruction, we've got radio control boats, so that usually goes down very well. Then there's the up and down track we have for their trains. We should have 2 lots of trains running this time. And Tony, who's with us, he operates some steam trains and the like, and various other members have got various...
Tony, now you kept that very quiet, so you're an official steam train driver.
Well...
Do you have a hat?
Yes, I do.
And
it says driver on the peak, so that's what I am.
So you operate the model train, and people can actually ride on the train at the event?
It's a good question, that. I actually am a collector of model steam locomotives, and I show a number of mine working during the exhibition. But they're a little bit delicate to just run up and down, giving rides to the youngsters, and we have another couple of locomotives, steam locomotives, to do that, more robust. And they have very loud whistles, which delights the children.
And they will be operating on the...
Oh, yes, indeed, yes. So they'll all be operating.
Yeah, we run the whole day.
And Malcolm, what's your area of passion in this?
I'm really interested in steamboats, really, but also in designing and making little steam engines for those sort of things. I will have a stand there. Most times you see at exhibitions there are big notices saying do not touch. Well, I've got one that says please do touch. And people are invited to press a button and watch an engine run, and hopefully I can tell them how it works. There'll be some others that I can connect up to an airline and we can see it run that way. One thing, Tony was talking about the train rides for children of all ages. and they are free.
That's what we like to hear. Free train rides.
And the radio control boats are also free to have a go.
Once you're in the exhibition, everything's free, apart from the aeroplanes, where you're just paying for things that have been bought already, you know. But the thing these days, of course, it doesn't matter whether it's a steam engine or a yacht or a sailing boat. You've got all that stuff you've got to have in the background. So we're happy to show you how everything works, what you need to do to join in. But most of all, we're looking for people who actually want to do things with their hands.
Yeah, fantastic. And so this is an event which takes place over 2 days. Is that right? 28th and the 29th. Is it different events on different days, or would people come just one day out of the two, do you think?
Well, I think we go for the same thing all day, you know, both days. We have various charities as well. The RNLI come along. I think we're their big thing for the year. They sell a lot of stuff there, and we have a local a wish tree, a local charity. We quite like local charities, and so we always welcome anybody who wants to come along and raise money for something. And then, although train rides are free, we have a donation box, and that's what goes to the Wish Tree charity.
Okay. And the event takes place, it's in St. Albans, isn't it, at the Townsend School?
Townsend Church of England School, yes.
Which is AL360R, I believe.
That's
and what
right.
time does that run?
Well, we open at 10. We've been working a long time before that, and the Friday before that to set it all up. But we open at 10, close at 5. And it's amazing. It takes quite a long while to set up, but we can be gone in an hour.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned is there are radio-controlled trucks, which seem to be quite popular. And they will be running around in one particular place, but then they do tend to take them out and run them all around the school.
So that's planes, trains and automobiles. They can
and there's Meccano there as well. I'm surprised Roy didn't say that, because he is well into Meccano as well.
Perfect. So do people need to buy tickets in advance, or can they just turn up on the day?
Just come up on the day. I think really, you know, a lot of families are just two parents and two children, and for £10 for a day. I mean, where can you get
£4 for adults, £1 for a child, yes. And preschool children.
Preschool children free.
For free.
Yes.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with this event. I know you had 2,000 people there last year, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck. I hope the weather's good, and hope you have a very successful event. It was a pleasure meeting you today. Will you come back and tell us how your event went, and come back
certainly.
and do another spot for us later on?
Yep.
Thank you very much. So that's the St. Albans and District Model Engineering Society. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Tony.